Hi, everyone. A good Friday afternoon. All right, Recue. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the campus of Case Western Reserve University, specifically a sun-splashed, beautiful Mather Park. It's Friday afternoon in northeastern Ohio, and it is gorgeous. Case Western Reserve and Carnegie Mellon. Lexi Miskey in the circle. First pitch back to the senior, and one pitch, one out here as we start the top half of the first inning. My name's Ron Yantz, and along with me today, a special guest, a Spartan athlete, Evie Miller. If you watched Case Western Reserve University women's basketball at any point over the last 4 years, you got a chance to see the shot blocking expertise of my partner today, Evie Miller. Evie, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Ron.
All right. Evie, I've got to ask you, when you were in high school, you know, given your height, you're 6'1", right?
Yeah.
Did you play first base in softball? Were you a pitcher in softball? Or were you just a fan going to support your fellow athletes in high school?
In high school, I actually was not a softball player. I went to a lot of games. I had a couple of friends on the team, but my spring sport of choice was actually soccer. So did not actually play softball, but I would guess maybe a first baseman.
Well, you know what it's like to be a college athlete, college student athlete. So we'll lean in on that expertise as we go through game one today here from Mather Park. 2 balls and a strike. The number 2 hitter for Carnegie Mellon, it's Jasmine Chow. Chow getting a start today, playing right field for this Tartans team. Back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Straightaway center field. So if you were a softball player, I heard you correctly, you thought maybe first base.
Potentially, yes.
That's where I would put you if I was the manager and Evie Miller was on my team. Because at 6'1", and, you know, you throw your arm up there, your left – are you lefty or a righty?
Righty.
You throw your left arm up there, your glove hand, and you probably go to, I don't know, almost 8 feet by that point. First pitch, Biz Berry looking at second, throws to second. Beautiful timing. Berry's throw met Kai Gross at the bag, and that's the second out of the inning. So that's a fielder's choice. Reagan Diamond is on at first, and Chow is out at second base. 2 outs in the inning. Spartans with some revenge on their mind today because Carnegie Mellon came in here on Thursday afternoon, and they knocked off Case Western Reserve. 6-4. Miskey's first pitch is called strike one. Have you ever had the pleasure, Evie, of getting in the batter's box against your fellow senior, Lexi Miskey?
I have not, fortunately for me, because I'm sure she would strike me out instantly given her track record.
High pitch, did she go? They said she did. This is Abby Reese, the cleanup hitter. Well, there's a great video clip. You should look it up. You should YouTube it. The great Jenny Finch, who, without much of an argument by anybody, probably the best American fast pitch pitcher in our country's history, softball-wise. Pedro Guerrero, or not Pedro Guerrero, it was St. Louis Cardinals great Albert Pujols, one of the best hitters in his era, got into the batter's box against Jenny Finch. And in softball, you're throwing from 43 feet, and that's called strike 3. The story will continue in the bottom of the first. Miskey and the Spartans get 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left for Carnegie Mellon. We head to the bottom of the first. It's Carnegie Mellon, nothing, Case Western coming to bat. Albert Pujols against Jenny Finch.
I actually know who Jenny Finch
She
is.
struck him out in 3 pitches.
That's crazy.
graduating with?
What do you mean, like degree-wise? BS in data science.
And what are you doing next?
I'm working at KeyBank doing quantitative modeling analytics. Yeah, for the first 6 months, at least. And then potentially Chicago, but a lot of my team's remote, so it could kind of go anywhere.
Leading off the bottom of the first inning for your Spartans, number 12, Karen Potts.
Bottom of the first, Case Western coming to bat in royal blue. All royal blue today. Yesterday they had the royal blue softball pants and the white tops. I liked yesterday's look a lot. Yeah. In the circle, Gianna Adams, a first-year pitcher for Carnegie Mellon. Adams is the ace of this staff. Yesterday the Spartans were handcuffed by Haley Pucci. Pucci really kept, well, it was her and the defense behind her that really kept Case Western's bats off balance. But if you look statistically, it's the young woman in the circle today, Gianna Adams, who is the ace. This will be her 22nd appearance, 15th start. She's thrown 11 complete games, 8-6 on the year, and her earned run average is 2.82. The 1-1 pitch, Potts, and that's going to be a base hit. Off the diving glove of second baseman Allie Rome, and Karen Potts is on to start the game. It's hard to believe that Karen Potts is a sophomore. I mean, it seems like she's been around for a long time already. Evie, how long did it take you athletically to get used to the level of play in college as opposed to high school? Because when you look at Potts, I mean, she's already, I think, one of the best players around, and she's just a second-year player. For you and for your teammates, I mean, what would be a generalization, statement-wise, as to when you really started to feel comfortable with the game on the floor?
Definitely a few games in. You know, first game you come out, you're a little bit nervous.
So you're saying first season you're ready?
Well, it all depends on how much you're getting into the game and how much your team trusts you. But I definitely think it took me at least a season and a few games to get my feet under me.
That's a great bunt. Going to need an extra play. And, oh, she's out. Oh, Russo's called out at first. I think they're going to ask for an appeal. And the appeal, Josie Henry will walk over to the first base umpire and ask for, I'm guessing, the third or the home plate umpire, and I don't think he's going to get or grant the appeal. Man, looked to me like Russo was safe. That was a heck of a play by Coco Sagaa, the third baseman for Carnegie Mellon, to even make it close. She got it with her bare hand, only way to field that one, and threw in one fluid motion. All right, the appeal will be granted.
Wow.
So they're going to talk about it. Now, the umpire doesn't have to grant the appeal, so this is awfully nice of him. An important game for Case Western Reserve. They're no longer in the running for their fourth straight UAA championship, but they're going to say she's out, so the call stands.
Now batting, number 17.
But they are in the running to still host in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Yesterday's loss hurts those chances quite a bit, but there is still an opportunity if they can win 2 today. So here's Kai Gross. First pitch to Gross is low and outside. It's ball 1. Russo doesn't do what she did a whole lot, and I mean by that bunting. So that surprised everybody. And it was a fantastic play by Sagaa at third base. Kai looks at strike 1. Evie Miller joining me today on this broadcast in Game 1. Evie, any of the Spartan softball players do you know well, go to class with, share a major?
I do not share a major with any of them, but I do know all of the 4 seniors and see them around. I know Lexi Miskey's in the engineering school a lot, so I see her. But yeah, I'd say all of them are super nice, great people, great students, great athletes. So it's really great having those athlete-to-athlete friendships.
Well, you and Miskey, Karen Farrell's behind us, the volleyball coach at Case Western Reserve University. And you at 6'1", and Miskey, I think, is at 6'1". Coach Farrell's smiling. She knows what I'm going to say. It'd be really nice to have a couple of 6-footers on your volleyball team, wouldn't it? Yeah, a couple more. Coach Farrell, the Hall of Famer, or will be, over 500 career wins, and real good season last year. But you graduate a lot of height, don't you? And a lot of power. So, I don't know if you have any volleyball experience or any athletic eligibility left, but even, Evie, if you just stood there for Coach Farrell with your arms up in the sky.
Right.
That's going to be the third out of the inning. So the opening hit for Karen Potts is wasted. She is left at third base. We head to the top of the second. The game is scoreless. Top of the second inning from Mather Park. Stepping into the batter's box, Allie Rome. Rome, the second baseman. Fly ball, right field line with enough room, but can't quite get to it is Elena Steffes. Let's take a look at that Spartan outfield right now. It's Steffes in right field, Nyla Durham in center, and Ashley Miller in left field. The infield is full of experience. Biz Berry at third base, the junior. Karen Potts, the shortstop, sophomore. Kai Gross, the second baseman, the grad student, and senior Bella Russo at first. The 0-1 pitch is inside for ball. Caitlin Lamb behind the plate, the senior, and Lexi Miskey in the circle, a senior. I talked about Karen Farrell, the volleyball coach, losing a lot of seniors from her team last fall. Josie Henry is going to lose half of her starting lineup. Miskey will be gone. Lamb will be gone. Kai Gross will be gone. Bella Russo will be gone. Kylie Hosey, the second pitcher, very talented, she'll be gone. I don't know, Evie Miller, my partner today. Maybe Coach Henry approaches you about playing first base next year.
You never know. Maybe I do have another year of eligibility with my I had an injury junior year, but maybe softball will be my calling next year.
That's Potts over to Russo, first out of the inning. Lexi Miskey trying to get her 17th win of the season. She is 16-4. The 0-1 pitch is outside, counts even. Miskey started out the game yesterday. It was a Thursday afternoon game, and if you're wondering why we go Thursday and then 2 on Friday, it's because Carnegie Mellon has graduation on Saturday. So they needed to get these games in early. The 1-1 pitch to Rome, and it's high for ball 2. Miskey started the game yesterday, struck out the first 2 batters. Looked great in the first inning. And then the team as a whole yesterday just kind of fell apart defensively. And then couldn't really get a timely hit when they were at the plate, and that led to the 6-4 loss. Miskey took the loss. Kylie Hosey pitched half the game in relief and did a real nice job. And Case Western was down 6-2 going into the final inning, and they had the tying run on at second base when the final out was made. So they made a rally in the bottom of the 7th. It fell a little short. 3 balls, 1 strike, and that's strike 2. Count is now full. Evie, graduation at Case Western is next Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday for undergrads. I think Saturday will be grad students, law students, and med students.
And where is graduation for you?
Mine will be held in Veal in the field house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Full count pitch is inside, and starting the second inning with 1 out, Rome has a walk. So your degree will be in
data science analytics.
And you've got a job waiting for you, right?
Correct.
At?
KeyBank.
In Cleveland?
Yes.
Okay.
I will be sticking around for the time being.
And go tell everybody the title of your job.
I'll be doing quantitative modeling and analytics.
Quantitative modeling and analytics.
Correct, yes.
Translate that for the listening audience. What exactly does that mean? Are you stealing trade secrets? Will you be working for the CIA, breaking code, and this is your cover job, or what exactly does that mean?
Exactly. No, I'm just, I will be working with a lot of different bank data and using machine learning, and a lot of the stuff I did with my major undergrad. So I'm really excited, though.
That's swing and a miss. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. At the plate for Carnegie Mellon is Maddie Beal. Beal's the number 2 hitter on the team. Outside corner at strike 2. Maddie on the year is hitting .344. It's interesting, Beal's high batting average, and she hits 7th in this Carnegie Mellon lineup. Counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 out here in the top of the second in a scoreless game. Spartans are trying to win for the 27th time this year. They're 26-10. Carnegie Mellon's 15-19. And swinging at a high strike, and striking out is Maddie Beal. So that's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Lexi Miskey. Now, Evie, I imagine you graduated in 4 years, right?
Correct.
And so your major probably never changed, right? Did you come in as that and you kept it the whole time?
Yeah, I was debating between computer science and data science, but they're basically a 3-class difference here. So I knew pretty early on that data science and more of a statistics focus was what I wanted to do.
You are originally from
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered.
Yes.
You know, calling the basketball games. And your mom played college basketball. Was it at NC State?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Correct, yeah.
If you played your mom right now, who would win?
I would probably win. She has not played in a while, but she used to coach us a little bit when we were younger. But
Is she listening?
Yes, both my parents, my siblings, my teammates, my coaches all said they would be listening. So shout out to all of them.
Is your mother throwing things at the wall right now, saying there's no way my daughter can beat me if we play?
Maybe. You never know.
I think you've got a challenge waiting for you, Evie, when you go home.
Sounds like it.
So you might want to practice a little.
Will do.
The 3-0 pitch, and that's inside, and it is called ball 4. So with 2 outs, Carnegie Mellon with a runner in scoring position. Allie Rome moves down to second base. That was Emma Martin who took the walk. In the inning, 2 walks and a strikeout for Lexi Miskey. And this brings up the number 9 hitter, the left-handed hitting Libby Eichberger. Eichberger plays left field. She is looking for a big 2-out hit. And here was the difference this moment in yesterday's game, I think. One of the differences is timely hitting by Carnegie Mellon. They got the hits when they needed the hits. And they played great defense, and it led to the 6-4 win. But yesterday, Eichberger in this situation, it often turned into a hit. Not specifically Libby at bat, but her or one of her teammates. They always got that big 2-out hit with a runner in scoring position. Do you feel pressure as an athlete, Evie? Like, you know, right now Libby Eichberger's in the box. It's early in the game, second inning, so really not a lot of pressure. But, you know, there is an opportunity for her to drive in a run as she fouls another one off. When you're in the game and you're at the free throw line in a tight game, or you've got a bunny underneath with no defender and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, don't blow it. I mean, is there enough time to feel athletic pressure, or is the game so fast you don't feel it?
I think the game is a little fast, and I think always the key is not to put a lot of pressure on yourself. Don't overthink it. I mean, all of these girls probably have been playing since they were very little, and they know how to play. So just stick to what you know, and you'll probably be fine.
Trust your training, right?
Correct.
All right. Miskey strikes out the side. We head to the bottom of the second in a scoreless game. Biz Berry will lead off the bottom of the second for Case Western Reserve University. I love watching Biz Berry play third base. Junior has been a starter since she came here as a first-year player. In my opinion, absolutely outstanding at the hot corner. First pitch to Berry is inside for ball 1. Evie Miller, my partner this afternoon, the Spartan basketball player, and Evie pointed out in between innings, a lot of athletes in the crowd today. Some members of the women's soccer team and the women's tennis team. Evie, for you as an athlete, and it happened in Horsburgh Gymnasium, you guys would see members of the football team or members of the volleyball team, I know, would often come. Do you notice? And 2, when you notice, does it make you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I love to see when athletes come to support us, and I try to do the same. I try to make it to 2 or 3 of each sports, fall, spring, winter, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a great community, and you kind of have a mutual understanding of all the practice, practice and everything that goes behind playing a college sport at Case Western University. So there's just a lot, and it's really nice to see that people showed up today, even though there aren't too many people on campus still at this point.
Yeah, graduation is just around the corner. If you weren't graduating, would you be here right now? Are you completely done?
I am done. I was actually done last week with finals.
Okay.
And I did go home for a little bit, but I probably would not still be here. But, I think a lot of people stay around, specifically spring sports people, and, of course, the seniors who are graduating in a week.
3-1 pitch to Berry, hard hit ground ball, and that's going to be an error in the infield. Well, I'll wait till the official score calls it, but Abby Reese, trouble handling the ground ball, and I do know this, Biz Berry's on it first.
Yeah, that was an error.
Sports Information Director, Fast Eddie Karakas, and also the official scorer has called it an error. So Barry's on it first, and that brings Bella Hunter to the plate. Bella had a big hit in yesterday's game in that, late rally that ended a little short. First pitch is called a strike. Bella Hunter on the year has only been to the plate 9 times. So she's just getting worked in slowly. This is just her 13th game that she's appeared in the 36 that the Spartans have played. But when she's been in, she's come through. 9 at-bats, 3 hits. Bella, a first-year player out of Crestwood High School. I would imagine, Evie, as an athlete, when you don't get a lot of reps, and if in basketball that would mean minutes, or in softball it would mean, swings at the plate, it's hard to come in cold, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, especially in basketball, if you've been sitting for a while, it's hard to come in and really have to prove yourself in your initial, I guess, minutes for basketball and maybe at-bats with softball. But, I mean, I'm very impressed by how many, although they do have an older team on the softball, how many freshmen and sophomore are in the lineup and making a big impact for sure.
Swing and a miss by Bella Hunter. And Gianna Adams gets a big out.
Number 22, Ashley Miller.
Well, speaking of first-year players, here's one here, Ashley Miller. Miller has pretty much played all season. She's appeared in 32 of the 36 games, always in the outfield. Today she's in left. Miller spends time at either left field or right field. First pitch is outside, and it's called a ball. Gianna Adams this year, in what is now her 106th inning, has struck out 94 batters and walked only 29. Opponents, though, are hitting .273 against her. That's a changeup that Miller was way out in front on. So although her numbers are good as far as earned run average and strikeouts per innings, people are putting the bat on the ball against her. Scoreless so far in this one, bottom of the second. Each team with a base hit. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's a fly ball, center field, deep, but nonchalant. Maddie Beal is back to catch it. I love watching center fielders. And Kella Jagoda was like this. She was a left-hander, just like Beal. Just saunter back and catch the ball deep in the outfield like it was easy money. Smooth as silk, I like to say. It's like somebody in basketball, Evie, with just a beautiful, smooth shooting stroke,
Yeah, great touch on the ball. I mean, you saw her track that ball down. She was under it the whole time. There was no stress with her. A lot of times people commit errors when they overthink, and she had her eye on the ball the whole time, and she was under it.
2 outs in the inning. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the inside part of the plate, and it's called a strike. This is Elena Steffes. Steffes is in right field today for head coach Josie Henry. Elena on the year, 34th game for the Spartans, hitting .205. The wind of the pitch. Counts 1-2. 2 games today here at Mather Park. There's no place you'd rather be than here on a Friday afternoon on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. It's a ground ball in the infield, across the field, and a nice play once again by Coco Saga at third base. So 5-3 for the final out. Steffes is down, and so are the Spartans. We head to the top of the third in a scoreless game.
Kira Manji.
The great vocal cords of the Hall of Famer Otto Pennica on the public address announcing today. Otto, because he's a Hall of Famer, has a specific contract here at Case Western Reserve, and in that contract it says he doesn't work on Thursdays. So yesterday, when the game was played on Thursday, there was a student doing the public address announcing. And Otto, very much like Wally Pipp, when Pipp was the longtime starter at first base for the New York Yankees and decided he was too sick to play one day and told head coach or manager Miller Huggins that he can't make it today, they put in a guy named Lou Gehrig, and then Pipp never played again. So I'm glad to see you today, and it wasn't a Wally Pipp, Lou Gehrig situation. Otto's glad to be here. In the meantime, Miskie's in the hole, 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter for Carnegie Mellon, Kira Manji. Manji in her first at bat, grounded right back to Lexi Miskey, and that's strike 1. Manji, a junior from San Diego, California, played her high school softball at Mission Bay. And she'll walk. So Manji starts the top of the third with a walk.
Now batting number 12, Jasmine Chow.
And that will bring Jasmine Chow to the plate. Chow had a base hit in her first at bat. And then she was forced out at second on a nice play from Biz Berry to Kai Gross. Caitlin Lamb up quick because Manji looked like she was going to take off. She's got 13 stolen bases on the season, Kira Manji. The leader for Carnegie Mellon is Kira Boucher. Boucher is not in the lineup in at least game 1. It's called strike, counts now even, 1 ball and a strike. Well, back to the Pujols Jenny Finch story as I look at Lexi Miskey in the circle. Pujols, one of the greatest hitters of his generation, spent most of his career with the St. Louis Cardinals, stepped into the batter's box against Jenny Finch, and 43 feet from the rubber to home plate in softball. It's 60 feet 6 inches in baseball. 95-mile-an-hour pitch in baseball is not the same as a fastball coming at you from 43 feet in softball, and Finch struck Pujols out.
Wow. Ooh.
And that's a fastball that got away from Lexi Miskey. Chow took that one in the middle of the numbers. That hit her hard. It's Monica Harrison out at first base, her head coach. So Harrison satisfied that Chow's ready to go. She'll go back to the dugout. And Carnegie Mellon's in business to start the top of the third.
Now batting number 13, Reagan Diamond.
This is Reagan Diamond, the number 3 hitter for the Tartan lineup. She hit a ground ball back to Biz Berry in her first at bat. Nobody out. Miskey's pitch, pop up. That's exactly what was needed. That's an infield fly. It's an automatic out. Runners could advance on it.
Now batting
So 1 out in the end.
for Abby Reese.
Abby Reese now at the plate. Reese ended the first inning with a strikeout. Miskey had 1 strikeout in the first. She had 2 in the second and would love to get one right here. Either that or a quick ground ball to Bisberry at third. That's a fastball, and that's a strike. If you look at Lexi Miskey and you look at the 4 years of her career, she holds single season records, program records in nearly every pitching statistical category. She has been, without a doubt, probably, well, I shouldn't say without a doubt probably, right? She has been, without a doubt, the best pitcher in the history of Case Western Reserve softball. I told her before the game, because, you know, today's doubleheader could be the last 2 games of the year at Mather Park. The Spartans will definitely make the NCAA tournament. The question is whether they'll host or not. And I told Lexi is she's looking at 0-2, and here's the pitch. And that's going to go foul and out of play. I told her I'm going to miss her. I mean, if this is it for me doing a game this year at home in Miskey's final season, I'm really going to miss calling games with Miskey in the circle, because she has been dependable, excellent, and just fun to watch. I said yesterday she's always got a smile on her face. Evie, have you had a teammate in your life, no matter what the situation? That's a Bella Russo. Nice play at first. And Russo will throw behind the runner at third, so there are 2 outs. Anybody in your life athletically, or just maybe even friendship-wise, always a smile, no matter what. And the follow-up to that is, you know, what kind of impact or ripple effect does that have on everybody else on the team?
I mean, the first person that comes to my mind is my teammate last year, Kayla Tarakilis. She always was smiling no matter what, even when maybe she shouldn't have been smiling. And it really just makes everyone else around her just a great impact on us, and really brings, especially when you're playing, and she's always has a really good mentality, good team camaraderie, and great leadership, and it really makes you kind of smile as well.
Yeah, much better than a scowl all the time, right?
Of course.
When Fast Eddie Karakas doesn't get lunch before a afternoon game, he has a scowl on his face. I'm just glad Eddie got lunch today. Caitlin Lamb trusting her grad student second baseman, Kai Gross, with that throwdown, because there's a runner at third. Coco Sagaa at the plate. She grounded out to Potts in her first at bat. Miskey trying to get out of a situation where Carnegie Mellon started the inning with 2 on and nobody out. Count is 2-1 on Sagaha. Coco on the year hitting .262. And there's the pitch. And the count is now even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Are you a card player? Do you play poker?
Not really, but I have before.
So if there are a bunch of 2s, you would say what?
I'm not sure.
Deuces are wild. So I'm going to give you a little lesson here, Evie.
Okay.
You got 2 runners on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So if you're broadcasting the game, you'll say
Deuces.
Deuces are wild.
Deuces are wild.
I'm going to test you on that later.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you notice it next time.
All right, I'll look for it.
The count's now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So that pitch fouled back. It's a good battle going on right now between Sagaa and Lexi Miskey. You know, you being a data person, that's something to keep in your hip pocket. You can impress people at the Key Bank Christmas party next year.
I plan to do so.
Yeah. Here comes Miskey looking for one more strike. And she got it. Miskey, high heat, strikes out Sagaha, and we head to the bottom of the third in a scoreless game.
16, Nyla Durham.
Case Western Reserve going to try to make something happen here in the bottom half of the third. Nyla Durham, the sophomore center fielder, will lead off the inning. Durham, the number 9 hitter in Josie Henry's lineup. You know, I was talking about Karen Farrell's 500 volleyball wins earlier. Josie Henry came into this year with 271 wins as the Spartan softball coach, and she's got 26 right now. Quick math tells you what, data specialist?
297, is that right?
All right, she's 3 wins away from 300. Very good. I think I will confer a degree upon you, Evie Miller.
Perfect.
So if she gets 2 today, that's 299. And she could get her 300th career win as the leader of the Spartan softball program next weekend in the NCAA tournament. But there's a long way to go. Counts 0-2 on Durham, and here comes the pitch. Tartan thought they had it, and I think Nyla maybe even thought that she looked at strike 3. She kind of had a lean towards the third base or the first base dugout. She will live for another pitch. Durham's got speed. They'd love to see Nyla find a way to get on first base to lead off this inning. Little pop-up over the bag at second, and that's an easy out for Abby Reese. Reese at shortstop with the pop-up. Durham's down, and that brings the top of the lineup for Case Western, Karen Potts. Potts, the leadoff hitter, and at least batting average-wise, the second best hitter on the team this year. She's hitting .364 coming into this afternoon. Potts swinging first pitch, foul, third base, and under it and catching it is Sagaha. So Coco gets the pop-up of Potts,
Number 11, Bella Russo.
and that brings Bella Russo to the plate. Make no mistake, Gianna Adams in the circle for Carnegie Mellon is a tough customer. She's the race, has been that all season long. She almost has double the amount of innings to the next closest pitcher, and that was Haley Pucci, who we saw yesterday. Russo, high heat, swing and a miss. Adams has good control, only 29 walks and 92 strikeouts coming into today. She went heat, and then she went off speed. And she got Russo twice. Two outs in the inning. We're in the bottom of the third. Game scoreless. Both teams have just one hit apiece. Adams, 0-2 pitch. Line drive left field, and that's Eichberger out there. Showing off a little at the end. She made a great catch yesterday. Anna Russo, line drive that faded away from her in the first inning when the Spartans were really starting to put some numbers together, and it kind of snuffed out the inning. That one ends the third. We head to the top of the fourth. Game still scoreless. Welcome back to Mather Park. Ron Johnson, my partner today, special celebrity, Evie Miller. Evie, a graduating senior from the Spartan basketball team. Fast Eddie Karakas, the sports information director, can tell me exactly, but for most of the season, Evie, you were in the top 20 in the nation in block shots. And I think for a while you might even have been in the top 10. That is a base hit that will start the inning for Carnegie Mellon. Allie Rome with a solid single to left field. So what makes a good shot blocker? Other than the height, you're 6'1", so that gives you, an opportunity right away to become a shot blocker. But, in your experience, why did you become, such a force in the middle?
Definitely being tall and having long arms is a huge I would say advantage, but then it all comes down to defensive mindset and then timing. You get better at it as you go on. You kind of start to read people and how they shoot, and then at the same time they start to read you, so maybe you start to get in a little bit of foul trouble here or there, but that's all part of the game.
Counts 0-1 on Maddie Beal. So Evie, did you said you started to pay attention to the way people shoot. Did you ever study like tape on opponents, specifically post players that you would have to defend against?
Yeah, our coach did a really good job scouting out players and even giving us, how to play a player, how to guard them. And it definitely helps a lot to, before you play them, to really know how they play and understand the way they score.
Yeah, doing your homework, no matter if it's in the classroom or on the court, is important for sure. The 0-2 pitch, high heat, not offered at. Counts now 1-2. Maddie Beal in her first at bat struck out swinging. She was the second out of the second inning. Game is scoreless, but Carnegie Mellon is in a familiar spot right now. That's with a runner on early in the inning. Every inning they have had this. That's Gross with sun in her eyes, and Kai brings in the pop-up for the first out of the inning.
Number 19, Emma Martin.
So you had mentioned that you have a year of eligibility left. That was because the injury in your, help my memory, sophomore year? Or junior year.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you considered taking that?
I definitely did consider taking it for a while. I will miss playing college sports here at Case Western. It's been one of the most amazing experiences ever. But I have a job, and just as good as Case Western is for fun and having sports, is a great academic school, and it set me up to get a great job. And so I will be taking my job and leaving with 3 great years of basketball.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job for the Spartans women's basketball team.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
2 balls, no strikes. This is Emma Martin at the plate for Carnegie Mellon. Martin walked in her first at bat. She's up in the count 2-0. Here comes Miskie's pitch. And that's high and outside. Lexi going to battle back. The 3-0 pitch, inside part of the plate, that's strike 1. What will you miss most about, being an athlete here at Case Western Reserve?
I mean, I had such a great team this year, made some of the best friendships, and of course being in the UAA, it's such a fun conference, really great competition. But I think, honestly, I will miss the athletic department a lot, and I really, I've made some great, friendships here, and I love coming to other sports teams. I really do, I love waking up for practice. I love looking forward to it all day, and I'll miss all of that a lot.
Miskey has battled back. Count is now full against Emma Martin. Do you think you'll still play basketball, like in the rec league, let's say you move to Lakewood and you're living in Lakewood and you'll play in the Lakewood rec league? Do you see that in your future, or are you done? Have you hung up your high tops?
There's always a chance. I, like most college retired athletes, am currently training for half marathon. So I think
nice.
A lot of
Are you running in the Cleveland half marathon? No, because that's the same day as
Charlotte.
graduation.
Yeah, going back to Charlotte. Mine's at the end of June. But a lot of college athletes I know move on to some sort of competitive activity. So if not basketball, maybe I'll pick up tennis or something as well.
So the walk to Emma Martin puts runners at first and second with 1 out here in the top half of the inning. It's the fourth and the game's scoreless. And at the plate is Libby Eichberger. Eichberger ended the second inning with a strikeout. Miskie's 1-0 pitch. That's a ground ball to Kai Gross. Looks at second, goes to second, and Potts will hold it and keep the runner at third. So force out at second for the second out of the inning. Eichberger's on a fielder's choice, and moving to third is Allie Rome.
Number 22, Kira Manji.
Top of the order for Carnegie Mellon in Kira Manji. In the first inning, Carnegie Mellon got a runner as far as first base. In the second inning, they had runners at second and third when the inning ended. In the third, first and second. And now they've got first and third. So every inning, the Tartans have threatened. Miskey up in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Lexi came into the game today in almost 130 innings pitched with 138 strikeouts. On the corner, but just off the corner, counts even, 1 ball and a strike. How's the training going for the half marathon?
It's been a little rocky, I will say, but I actually enjoy it.
Pitch is high. It's 2-1. When is it?
June 21st.
And what's your long run right now?
The longest I did?
Yeah.
10 miles.
Okay. Well, you're in good shape.
Yeah. I was always a runner growing up,
Yeah.
so.
The 2-1 pitch with 2 outs. Runners going, and it's fouled back. Everybody will return to their spot. That's Eichberger on at first. Allie Rome led off the inning with a solid single to left. She stands at third base. Miskey in the circle. The pitch to Manji. Just a little high. Count is now full. Eichberger will be running on the pitch from first to second. Miskey's pitch, fouled off. Almost in self-protection mode, Kira Manji, that high heater that had some rise to it, just rode in under the hands of the leadoff hitter. Infield's ready, so is Miskey. Here comes the pitch. Fouled back. What an at-bat by Manji. Miskey's thrown a couple of tough pitches with 2 strikes, and Manji's fouled them both back. Now, Lexi's best pitch is that, I would say, the rise ball. Let's see if she throws the changeup, though, and fools everybody. She threw a nasty something. I'm not sure what that was, but it had movement on it, and it was low in the zone. But Manji fouled it off again. Evie, how much of a game is mental for you? You know, I ask that because, you know, Manji in the box, Miskey in the circle, you know, both of them are in each other's head right now. Here comes the pitch, and it's ball 4. That'll load the bases.
Yeah, I think a lot of sports is staying composed and really focusing on the task at hand. I think if you let the heat of the moment get the best of you, it usually does not turn out in your favor. So really having both the pitcher and the hitter stay composed and mentally locked in really work to their benefits.
Well, here's where you have to be mentally strong if you're Case Western right now. Tartans have the bases loaded in a scoreless game. And the number 3 hitter at the plate, and it's strike 1. Actually, the number 2 hitter, Jasmine Chow. Chow's 1 for 1. She had a base hit to center in the first inning, got hit by a pitch right in the middle of the back, in her last at bat in the third. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that's in the dirt. Lamb doing a nice job. Caitlin Lamb dropping and blocking. Miskie's ready. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Counts 2-1. Spartans 1 strike away from getting out of this. Carnegie Mellon 1 hit away from possibly putting 2 runs on the board. Jasmine Chow on the air, hitting 200. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Got her.
Wow.
Big out. And a smile from Lexi Miskey. We head to the bottom of the fourth, game still scoreless.
Gross.
Kai Gross will lead off the bottom of the fourth. Gross with 32 career home runs. Yesterday, in the Thursday afternoon game, Annie Wennerberg, who in 2015, 10 softball seasons ago, hit 20 home runs in a single season, led the entire country in home runs, and finished with 33 in her career at Case Western. She's the all-time home run leader, Annie Wennerberg, with 33. Well, the young woman in the left-handed batter's box right now is 1 home run behind her. Annie was here yesterday supporting her Spartan softball program. She had her baby in the stroller. It was beautiful to see. And I know that Annie would love to see Kai Gross tie that home run record. It could happen at any moment. Gross is that kind of hitter. Kai's number 1 on the team, .462 batting average. Number 1 in runs with 40. Number 1 in hits with 55. Number 1 in home runs with 9. The 1-1 pitch is on the outside part of the plate. It's strike 1. She leads the team in triples with 2. She leads the team in doubles with 14. Evie, that's a complete sweep, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And not only that, her batting average is not only the leading on the team, it's by a lot.
Yeah. Her .462, next closest is her sophomore shortstop teammate Potts at .364. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Rides her off the plate, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gonna miss Gross too. I'm gonna miss all these seniors. I asked them if I could get a picture with them before the game. Lamb and Gross and Hosey and Miskey, and just a solid group of young women. The 2-2 pitch. Soft little ground ball to second base, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That's Rome over to Martin, second to first, and Gross is out 4-3. Caitlin Lamb steps to the plate. Lamb from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Plainfield East High School. This is her 4th spring in a Spartan uniform. Caitlin's had a real nice senior season. Started behind the plate in all now 37 games. 4th on the team in hitting at .349. Has hit 5 home runs herself, second only to Gross. Fouled back. Gianna Adams, though, has done a real nice job. She is following right where her teammate Haley Pucci left off yesterday. Adams is from Scranton, Pennsylvania. First year. The Tartans will rely on her for the next 3 springs after this year. On the hands, fly ball left field, and that's Eichberger out there for it. Well, Lamb sent that one a long way because, I mean, that contact was on the handle of the softball bat. It was just above her hands. Tells you how powerful the senior catcher is. So 2 outs in the inning. As threatening as Carnegie Mellon has been, Evie, with runners in scoring position every inning, the Spartans haven't exactly, put fear in anybody's mind on that Tartan defense so far. The Potts got on at second in the first inning, and that's been it.
Yeah, I mean, the Tartan pitching is really keeping the Spartan hitters at bay because this is, you would argue, pretty abnormal for the Spartan softball team if they tend to put a lot of batters on base, at least in the games I've been to.
Yeah, Case Western as a team this year is hitting above 300. Ground ball back up the middle. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. Case Western goes 1, 2, and 3. They have now been retired in 9 consecutive at-bats. We head to the top of the 5th in a scoreless game. Top of the 5th inning here from Mather Park. I'm Ron Yantz, and my partner today, Evie Miller. Evie wrapping up her collegiate basketball career this late winter for head coach Jennifer Reimer. Going to graduate in a week. Has a job at a bank in Cleveland. And she'll start her young professional career. How do you feel about that?
I'm really excited. I thought my college experience was great, but I'm ready and I'm really happy that it set me up for a great career ahead of me. And I will be staying in Cleveland, so at least I have some familiarity with the area after 4 years of undergrad here.
This is Reagan Diamond at the plate, the Carnegie Mellon catcher. Diamond, the number 3 hitter in that Tartan lineup, is 0 for 2. Have you become a fan of anything in Cleveland in your 4 years at Case Western? Meaning, you know, do you love to go to Wade Oval? Do you like the zoo? Are you a big Guardians fan? I mean, what has captured the heart of Evie Miller?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, while I've been here, the Cavs have been good, the Guardians were good, the Browns not so much, but any sort of sports team that I can go to, and, you know, when the weather's nice, the lake is beautiful, and Cleveland's not a bad place to walk around.
It certainly isn't. I think we're one of the best places in the nation, but I'm a little biased. That's a strikeout. Diamond down swinging, and Bella Russo had to go a little bit high to get to finish the out. Caitlin Lamb made it exciting. But for once, Carnegie Mellon has not started out the inning with a runner on base. This is Abby Reese at the plate, the cleanup hitter. Reese struck out swinging, and she grounded out to first base in her 2 at-bats so far. That's a ground ball to Karen Potts. Took a bad hop, and Reese is going to be safe.
Also an error. Now batting, number 3, Coco Shagae.
It's an error on Potts. Puts Reese on at first for Coco Sagaha. Coco at the plate 0 for 2. One of the problems yesterday for this Spartan team was their defense. They struggled a little bit, and just a little bit of a struggle turned into some key runs for Carnegie Mellon. That's a ground ball, and that's perfectly placed in the hole. That's a solid single.
That's a regular hit. Now batting, number 1, Allie Rome.
And just as I said, Spartans got the first out of the inning. Carnegie Mellon has followed with back-to-back hitters on base. So they're back in a familiar spot with a runner in scoring position and less than 2 outs in the inning. Allie Rome will come to the plate, and Rome got a base hit in her last at-bat. So this is a key spot, pressure spot, right? Scoreless game, late in the game. Did you like pressure as a player? Did you feed off of it? Did it own you at times? Were you indifferent to it? I mean, where do you think it ended for you, Evie?
I think as I got older, and maybe more so this year as a senior, pressure situations, you know, you're kind of used to them. And maybe that's where Lexi Miskey is at now, because she has been doing this for 4 years. But definitely there is some pressure. And I think when I was a freshman, you know, making sure to stay very locked in those pressure moments is really key.
That's a pitch. So how do you stay locked in? How do you, I like to say block out the noise. How do you keep the noise out?
I mean, that's exactly it. You got to block out the noise. And like I said earlier, I mean, it's all these players, all college athletes have been doing it time and time again. You practice it all the time. You really just got to go back to what you know how to do and trust yourself. And
for Miskey, that's throw strikes, and she's up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The last thing you said, trust yourself. That is so important, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Trust yourself, trust your training, trust your practice, trust your preparation, all those things. Rome at the plate, the 0-2 pitch, and that's a pop-up in the infield. In the circle, Russo will call her pitcher off. And doing a nice job from left field is Ashley Miller, the first-year player. Biz Berry was drawn to the middle of the infield on that pop-up because most times infielders don't want their pitchers catching pop-ups. It's one of the great mysteries in life, frankly, for me, because pitchers oftentimes are the best athletes on the team. They come to college as great hitters in high school. And then suddenly when they come to college, they're no longer allowed to hit and they're no longer allowed to catch pop-ups. So you got Barry coming in, you got Russo coming in. That left third base open, but Ashley Miller in left field did a great job identifying and coming in and keeping Carnegie Mellon right where they were at. So 2 outs in the inning, and now a strike on Maddie Beal. Evie, when you were in third, fourth, fifth grade, were you tall then? I mean, my question or the point being, were you always put as a post player, as a young player? And then did you ever learn how to dribble and feel confident in your dribble? Or, how was that development for you?
When I first started playing basketball, I played on my older sister's team, so I was one of the shorter players.
Okay.
I would say I was always around average height until high school. I grew really late. I was kind of a late bloomer. But yeah, my mom coached my older sister, so I always played on their team, as well as my own age group team, which really made me help me dominate a lot more.
1-2, the pitch. Tantalizing close. Maddie Beal took a tough pitch and it worked in her favor. Counts now even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So let's test Evie Miller. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on.
Deuces are wild.
Deuces are wild.
There we
Nice
go.
job. Evie Miller. She learns well.
Paying attention.
Next time she's playing pokers with her teammates or friend, and you're handing out the cards, you can say deuces are wild.
Right.
And that means if you get a 2, you can make it anything.
Perfect.
So like if, say you have, a 5-card hand and that's ball 4, giving poker lessons here as well this afternoon. Playing 5-card stud and you deal 5 cards out and say they said deuces are wild and you got 3 kings, but you also have a 2 and a 3. You suddenly have what?
Another king?
4 kings, yeah. You can make that 2 whatever you want. You wouldn't want to make it a queen.
Probably not.
Right.
Get a pinch hitter here. Who we got? It's like 88. Bless you. 88.
So 2 outs in the inning, bases full of Tartans. Josie Henry, the head coach of the Spartan softball program, in the circle with the entire team. Key moment, obviously. It's a scoreless game and it's late. It's in the 5th. Carnegie Mellon came into this weekend with just 3 wins in the University Athletic Association. 3 wins and 7 losses. They're a base hit away from putting themselves in a real good position to have 2 wins in 2 days here at Mather Park. Their pitching has been outstanding. Spartans looking for 1 more out here in the 5th.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now batting for Carnegie Mellon, number 88, Gabriella Triano.
Gabriella Triano now at the plate for Carnegie Mellon. She is pinch hitting for Martin, and the first pitch to her is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. Emma Martin had walked in her first 2 at-bats. Gabriella Triano is in to hit for her. The 0-1 pitch. Gabriella thought about it and laid off. This is her 10th at-bat on the season, and she's got 3 hits and 9 at-bats. So she's hitting .333 with limited opportunities at the plate. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Miskey with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and that's strike 2. In Gabriella's 9 at-bats, in case you're wondering, she's struck out 2 times. Has yet to draw a walk. Miskey in a familiar spot. She has ended every inning so far with a strikeout. Can she do it one more time here in the 5th? She does. Lexi Miskey does it again. My partner, Evie Miller, is impressed.
Very much so.
We head to the bottom of the 5th. Game is still scoreless.
15, Lacey Lara.
Lacey Lara will pinch hit here in the bottom half of the fifth for Case Western Reserve. She'll pinch hit for Bella Hunter.
29 is going to come up after her. Caitlin Zuzai.
Lacey on the season hitting .283. She's yet to hit an extra base hit. And wouldn't that be fun if she got her first of the season at this at bat? In the circle for Carnegie Mellon is Gianna Adams. Adams just a first-year player. She has given up only one hit. And that hit was the first batter of the game. That was Karen Potts. And that hit was to the second baseman. So it was an infield hit. And that's been it. She hasn't walked a batter. There was an error. Biz Berry reached on an error by Abby Reese, the sure-handed shortstop. Reese, for once, did not make a play, but she's been outstanding in the two games. The Spartans have had two runners on, and we're here in the bottom of the fifth. And that's strike two. Gianna Adams hasn't struck out a lot of people. As a matter of fact, she has struck out only one Spartan, and that was Bella Hunter back in the second inning. She has kept them off balance. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Rhythm's important, right, Evie? I mean,
Of course.
you know, if you're on the court and you get into a rhythm, whether it's shooting or playing defense or, you know, you're feeling comfortable, it's the same here on a softball diamond. You know, the pitcher in a rhythm. And that's strike three. And right now, Gianna Adams is in
Now batting, number 22.
top shelf type rhythm.
Miller.
So if you're a hitter, Abby, the thing that you want to do is disrupt the rhythm of the pitcher. And that could come in several ways. You could step out of the box, call timeout. You could show bunt a lot. You can squeeze the plate. You know, little things to try to disrupt the rhythm of somebody who is in real rhythm. This is Ashley Miller at the plate. And there's an off-speed pitch, and it's strike one. Miller today, 0 for 1. She flew out to center field back in the second inning. How good has Adams been in the circle today? Well, Potts, the leadoff hitter, probably won't have her third at bat until the sixth inning. Adams has faced just over the minimum of hitters. Faced 4 in the first inning, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth. She has retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row right now as we head to the fifth inning with one out. Counts even, 1 ball and a strike. And that's strike two. Miller right now looks confused at the plate, and credit Adams for that. She has got her swinging on a changeup and got her swinging on a fastball away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Do you ever try to, when, like, if a defender's really, overplaying you from one side or the other, or they overplay you on a drop step that they know you like to make, do you ever mix it up?
I mean, in basketball, it is definitely key, especially if you are well scouted. You really want to throw them off, and like you said, that is really important in keeping them on their toes.
So that's a 2-strike fly out to Maddie Beal in center field for the second out of the inning.
You're good to announce her. You did it at the beginning of the inning.
Now batting, number 29, Kaylin Zuzai.
This is Kaylin Zuzai. And Zuzai will hit here in the fifth for Elena Steffes. So 2 pinch hitters here in the bottom of the fifth in Josie Henry's lineup card. Adams checks her wrist, has her pitch ready, and here it comes. And that's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Kaylin on the season is hitting 180. This is her 51st at bat. She's got 9 hits. That's strike 2. Once again, the only hit of the game, an infield hit. That skipped off the glove of the second baseman into right field. Back in the first inning, very first batter, Karen Potts. That has been it. My partner, Evie Miller, today joining us. Evie's going to graduate in a week. She finished with how many block shots? I wrote it down. 127 in her career. And that is fourth all-time in program history for the Spartans of Case Western Reserve. 127 block shots. In only 3 seasons, yeah. Fast Eddie Carrickus pointed out to me. Evie missed her junior year due to injury. Line drive, base hit. Maybe that'll get something going for Case Western Reserve. Zuzai with something that the Spartans needed, and that's a base runner. So Kaylin's on. Nyla Durham will come to the plate, and the top of the order is up next after Durham.
Now batting, number 16, Nyla Durham.
If Case Western can somehow, some way get Durham on, they've got a big-time threat coming up in Karen Potts. Zuzai's on at first, and there are 2 outs in the inning. Durham turns one over. The play will go to first, and the throw's in time, and the inning's over. So the Spartans get a hit, but that's it. We head to the top of the 6th. Game is still scoreless.
Playing right field for the Spartans, number 22, Ashley Miller.
Yep.
Little defensive change here for Case Western as we start the 6th inning. Kate Coonan is now in left field, first-year player, and Ashley Miller has moved over to right. My partner, Evie Miller. Evie, you mentioned it earlier, some of the younger players that are really mixing into this veteran lineup, and you've got it on full display right now in the outfield. Little bunt, and it's a beauty, and it's a base hit. Safe at first is Libby Eichberger. the leadoff hitter here in the 6th for Carnegie Mellon. That was a perfect bunt.
Now batting, number 22, Kira.
You've got a freshman in left, a sophomore in center, a freshman in right, and a sophomore at shortstop. Miskey, the senior, in the circle. Top of the order for Carnegie Mellon, this is Kira Manji. And that's strike one. Fouled back. Miskey up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. 2 games today. This is game 1. The second will follow approximately, what, Eddie, 20, 30 minutes after the first one ends? Yep. Ron Yantz and Evie Miller along with you from Mather Park. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Wow. Must have been high. It's ball 1. Eichberger's on at first. She had the leadoff bunt. This is Manji, 0 for 1 on the day. A little ground ball back to the mound. The play's at second. Potts got it to force the lead runner. And there's now 1 out in the inning. That right there is a tough play. You might look at it and you might say, that's an easy play. Back to the pitcher. Because Lexi's got to turn her body and throw at the same time and not overthrow it. And what I mean is pull that throw left of the bag. And that was right on the money. How do you like your first broadcasting experience so far?
I mean, it's been great. You're doing a great job handing it off to me. I really love the press box angle of the game. But yeah, definitely really fun. I love watching the softball team play, so I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, Evie.
Well, thank you.
Counts even, a ball and a strike. Evie walked up to the press box here at Mather Park. She walked in and she said, this is the first time I've ever been in the press box. Evie, typically Otto Penica, the Hall of Famer, the public address announcer, brings pizza, cheeseburgers, French fries, and onion rings. But today, for some reason.
Yeah, he must have heard I was coming and said, never mind. Oh, right. Next time I come, I'll bring it myself.
I got a turkey sandwich waiting in my car for me in between games.
For Bella, grilling a hot dog, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bella Russo will grill hot dogs. Ground ball, Biz Berry, great play on one knee. Second base, how about that? Kai Gross from Biz Berry. Double play doesn't happen, but what a play. I said it before, I said it earlier. Love watching Biz Berry play third base.
Number 13, Reagan Diamond.
That was fantastic. Berry on one knee, on her backhand, makes a play. You know, you and I have talked, Evie, about confidence, you know, trusting your training and yourself. That's a great example right there. I mean, Barry's got to make a perfect turn, pivot, and throw on the dot to Gross in a tight situation. You don't have time to think about it. You just have to do it.
Yeah, and she trusts her teammates, and you can really see Biz Berry has a lot of experience at third base and, you know, an experienced infield, to say the least.
Absolutely. I mean, Gross was the starting shortstop until Potts showed up, so Kai has spent her entire career in the infield, in the middle, either short or second. Russo has been at first base as long as Fast Eddie Karakis has been at Case Western Reserve, and then Biz Berry has been there since her freshman year. Fast Eddie's been here how long, Eddie?
Since 22.
Well, actually, Russo's been here longer than you have then.
No, I started her freshman year.
Okay. They've grown up together on the Spartan campus. The Fast Eddie I referred to is Fast Eddie Karakis, the sports information director at Case Western Reserve. He is the key to any type of stat that you need, and oftentimes gives it to you before you even know that you want it. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled back. Have you ever watched the show MASH?
I'm not.
On replays?
No,
I mean,
don't
it's
think so.
long before your time, but I thought maybe in replays you and some of your friends have. So it's a show, there's a character named Colonel Potter who's in charge of a MASH unit, which is a medical unit in wartime that takes care of soldiers. And anyways, his right-hand person is this young guy called Radar O'Reilly. And Radar O'Reilly always answers Colonel Potter's questions before Colonel Potter even asks Radar O'Reilly the question. And Fast Eddie Caracas is a lot like that. He has the answers before I even ask them. He's invaluable. He looks a little like Radar O'Reilly, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miskey trying to work out of it here in the top of the 6th. Her defense has done a great job behind her. Runner on at first. 2 strikes on the batter. Reagan Diamond, the number 3 hitter, in this Carnegie Mellon lineup. Miskey's ready. Here comes the pitch. Off speed. Lamb from her knees. How about Caitlin Lamb? Wow, that's the way to end an inning. Miskey didn't get the strikeout, but I don't think she cares. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Evie, the Spartans are still looking for what? A run.
A run. Well, I mean, both teams probably at this point. It's definitely a pitching duel, if you ask me. Lexi Miskey's allowed a little bit more hits, but nothing to show for it because she's striked out the last hitter of every inning with the exception of the last where her senior counterpart, Caitlin Lamb, came in for the throw down at second.
And it was fun to watch.
Very fun.
We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th next. Ron Janssen, Evie Miller along with you from Mather Park. We have seen 5.5 solid innings of softball here on a sun-splashed day on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. Game is scoreless. Carnegie Mellon and Case Western Reserve. Adams in the circle, Potts at the plate. First pitch at the bottom of the 6th, and that's a base hit to right field. Karen Potts has 2 of the 3 hits today against Gianna Adams.
Now batting, number 11, Bella Russo.
So let's see if Russo is bunting Potts over. It's Coco Segaa at third base, and she's going to come up inside that bag. At first, Emma Martin. They're tight on the corners defensively right now. Carnegie Mellon. Russo shows bunt and fouls it back. Potts can run. Karen's got speed. She's second on the team in stolen bases this year with 13. Durham's number 1 with 17. Point being, if Russo can get down a bunt, Karen Potts is going to get to second base. Try it again, and she does. And the sacrifice bunt is complete. So Russo does what she was asked to do, and that's move the runner over.
Now batting, number 17, Ty Gross.
And that brings the best hitter on the team this year to the plate. Evie, when you're in a money situation, you want your money player in the moment, right?
For sure.
It's like whoever your best shooter is on the team, you want them taking the last shot.
Of course.
Whoever your best hitter is on the team, you want them at the plate in a key situation. And here's Gross. And Kai fouls it off. If Gross can get a base hit and score pots, Spartans would just need 3 outs in the top half of the 7th to secure a very hard-fought victory. Gianna Adams trying to change that narrative, though, in the circle. Here comes her 0-1 pitch. Adams, I've really loved her location, her control. She puts the ball really wherever she wants it, doesn't she? I mean, she wanted that outside part to see if Gross would chase it. She put it exactly where she wanted it, and Kai Gross, the grad student, didn't chase. Off speed, that could move. Nope, it's a foul tip. For a moment, I thought it was a pass ball that would move Potts to third. That would have been real nice. So Gross is going to have to dig in. The grad student against the first-year pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner in scoring position. Here comes the pitch. That's guts taking that pitch. Low and away. Of course, Kai's got a better look at it than we do. She's on top of it. Counts now even. Adams is ready. Kai Gross rolls over on it, and that's a foul ball. Kai on the year with 38 runs batted in. 39's a good number in her head. She'd love to get number 39 right here. The 2-2 pitch. But Karen Potts was ready to go. What a great job behind the plate by Reagan Diamond. You know, that's, you talked about teammate trust, right? That is Gianna Adams showing that she's got great trust in her freshman catcher, Diamond, with the go-ahead run on at second to throw that ball in the dirt like that, knowing that your catcher is going to block it. Full count pitch, and that is foul ball, left field line, playable. But Kai Gross will come back and do it again.
Yeah, like you said, like it's a cool dynamic seeing a freshman catcher and freshman pitcher versus the senior catcher, senior pitcher duo. And you can just see like the freshmen have a lot of, you know, camaraderie and chemistry together, as well as the Case Western seniors do too.
And that develops, doesn't it?
100%.
As you play together?
And you'll see in 4 years these two will be a dynamic duo, no doubt.
The full count pitch. Kai Gross, that's going to get the runner to third. It may get Gross to first, but what a play. Using her glove and only her glove, Allie Rome, the second baseman, with a sensational play at second base. So Gross is out on a double star play by Allie Rome at second base. And there are now 2 outs in the inning. But Potts got to third on it. And Karen's only 60 feet away from scoring, and a pass ball.
And with her speed, I mean, any ball that goes right by the catcher is an easy score for Karen Potts at third base.
It could score. Caitlin Lamb's at the plate. Adams' first pitch, it's a spinner. It's foul. So Caitlin walked up to Star Wars music. I'm going to ask my partner, Evie Miller, what would your walk-up music be?
I've thought about this for the last 2 innings, but I think right now I'd probably have to say Timber by Kesha. You know, it's going down, yelling Timber, maybe get myself riled up a little bit, but definitely an interesting pick by Caitlin Lamb, choosing a Star Wars walk-up song. Never heard that. Do like it, though.
0-1 pitch, and it's low. 1-1. Did you ever play that in warm-ups inside Horsburgh?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in charge of the playlist
I
as a
did
senior?
make the playlist. Well, we had everyone on our team send in a few songs, but I did put it together.
All right. I got a follow-up to that after this pitch. Counts even at 1, 2 outs. Go-ahead runs on at third. Lamb, line drive, left field. It falls for a base hit. The go-ahead run scores, and Caitlin Lamb, the senior catcher, in with a stand-up double. That is big time. That is only the 4th hit of the game for Case Western, and no doubt the biggest.
Three is running.
Potts scores from third. Lamb with a 2-out double. And Case Western Reserve is up 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now running at second base for the Spartans, number 3, Tara Fritcher.
So Tara Fritcher
Now batting,
will go out and
number
run for the Spartan catcher.
Barry.
Fritcher, the junior. And at the plate is Biz Berry. Fritcher with 2 outs will be off and running on any contact, and that's strike 1. So you are not missing any study table or library time because you are done, right?
Done completely as of a week ago.
That's got to feel good.
Feels great.
Outside, that's ball 1.
You know, I think a good thing working for both these teams probably now that finals and academics are all over is a huge part of playing basketball and any sport in season is you do have that academic stress weighing over you, and today all they have to focus on is playing this game as of right now.
And it's been a great game. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Barry will foul it off. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The mental discipline of a college athlete has to be at a high level because, you know, you come home from practice or say a trip, say a Boston-New York trip in the UAA or a Chicago-St. Louis trip, and you come home on that Sunday night and you've got homework or tests to study for. And the last thing you feel like doing is the homework or studying for the test, right? But somehow you find a way to get it done.
And sports are a huge part of that. Any athlete has a lot of self-discipline, and that works really well for you if you are trying to stick to your academics. And, you know, you come in late, but you also probably did homework on the bus ride, on the plane ride, in the airport. And that's a nice thing about being on a team with like-minded individuals is we're all doing the same thing. So it helps a lot.
The 1-2 pitch, Biz Berry. That's a base hit by the first baseman into right field, and scoring from second is Tara Fritcher. And the Spartans are up 2-0. Barry hit a laser beam towards the first base bag.
Yeah, she was put in the game earlier, but yes, 5.
Boy, some big key 2-out hits.
Kate
Yeah.
Coonan.
Really rallying late in this inning.
So let me ask you this, Evie. When you're in a pressure situation like Biz Berry was, like Caitlin Lamb was, and you win in it, you do well in it, you succeed in it, you really feel good about that, don't you?
Yeah, and I think Biz Berry probably worked off a little bit of the momentum that Caitlin Lamb brought because you could see, you know, scoring that 2-out score and getting to second really helped the team get ahead. And Biz Berry used that momentum and the energy and, you know, hoping to see that continue throughout this inning. But, yeah, a lot of high pressure, and you really see them step up to the plate.
Yeah, they have stepped up. They have risen to the moment, that's for sure. So we're going to get a pinch runner on at first for Biz Berry.
13 inning, Laura Miol.
Laura Mioli will come in and run for
Ladies and
Berry.
gentlemen, your attention, please. Now running at first base for the Spartans, number 13, Laura Mioli.
So Coonan's at the plate. Kate is hitting for Lacey Lara, who hit for Bella Hunter, the original starter. Counts no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1. Mioli is now running at first base. And Mioli is a first-year player from Brooklyn, New York. First year at the plate, Kate Coonan. That's strike two. The difference in confidence from a first-year athlete to a fourth-year athlete is, in your estimation, Evie?
I mean, it's very monumental. I mean, you can even see it here. There's definitely a lot of pressure on a first year at the plate at this situation, but it's really important, you know, as you play more college basketball and you really get used to it, and having great teammates is a huge part of that, but definitely a huge jump between freshman and sophomore year, 4 years under your belt, 4 years of age. You know, there's a big difference between an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old.
There really is. Hey, great inning for the Spartans in the sixth. They come to the plate. They get 3 hits. They score 2 runs. In what was a scoreless game, we head to the top of the 7th. Case Western Reserve 3 outs away from a victory.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for Carnegie Mellon, number 13, Reagan Diamond.
So the catcher will lead off the top half of the 7th for the Tartans of Carnegie Mellon, and that's Reagan Diamond. Diamond not only solid behind the plate, she's also the best hitter on this team, hitting .354 coming into today. And she'll lead off in the 7th with her team down 2-0. Two runs in the bottom of the 6th have been the difference in game 1 of 2 today from Mather Park. Karen Potts led off the inning with her second single of the day. She was sacrificed to second by Bella Russo. Went to third on a Kai Gross ground ball. So there are 2 outs with Potts on at third. And then the 2 biggest hits of the afternoon. Caitlin Lamb hit a 2-out double to score Potts. And Biz Berry hit a 2-out single to score Caitlin Lamb. Or actually, she scored Tara Fritcher, who ran for Caitlin Lamb. So here we go. Diamond at the plate. She is 0 for 3 today. She struck out in her last at bat. And she got hit by a pitch.
Now batting, number 24, Abby Reese.
Brings Abby Reese to the plate. Reese is the cleanup hitter. Lamb's going to go out and talk to her pitcher, Lexi Miskey. I don't know who the player was on the basketball team, but on this softball team, in my opinion, when things are tight, it's Bella Russo who loosens everybody up. Russo's out there dancing. She's probably telling a joke to anybody that's within ear distance of her right now. And she oftentimes comes in and really calms down. If she feels Lexi Miskey needs to smile or have a laugh, Russo will come in and do that. That's key, right, on a team, to have somebody to just kind of lighten the moment.
It's really important, and you can see, like, that's great leadership. That's great teammate, and, you know, having someone like that on the team is always great.
Who was it on the basketball team?
I mean, it could have been anyone any day. I would say Mara Shore is always a very happy person. She actually is listening to the broadcast now, so shout out her. She's very great at keeping everyone happy and lighthearted, and she just always can settle everyone. I would say also Nia Moore, my fellow senior captain. She was really good at that as well.
1 ball, 1 strike on the cleanup hitter, Abby Reese. In case you're wondering, because I was, Reese is hitting .323 this year, but she has yet to hit a home run. If she hit one now, the game would be tied. That pitch on the outside part of the plate, 2 outside. It's 2 balls and a strike to Reese. Boy, the work Lexi Miskey has done in game 1, it's been outstanding. She just keeps battling, Evie, right? I mean, every time she's in a hole, she gets herself out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just the experience. She keeps her composure.
Ground ball, first base, little toss. Kai Gross, speaking of experience, she didn't lose herself when she lost the ball. She stayed with the moment, stayed with the ball, and made a key out.
Yeah, I mean, despite fumbling it initially, she really kept going with it, and she was able to get over to first to Bella Russo for the out.
So there's 1 out in the inning. Diamond goes down to second base. And at the plate is the third baseman, Coco Saga. Coco on the day grounded out to shortstop, struck out, and had a base hit to left in her last at bat. And that's a pitch high for ball 1. Coco came into today hitting .262. 8 runs batted in on the year. 8 runs batted in 34 games. Here's the pitch. Nyla Durham's going to have to make a great play, and she almost had it. Durham running to her left almost made a stab on a line drive fading away from her. She had it for a moment, and then momentum threw it out of the glove. That is a base hit.
Now batting, number 1, Allie Rome.
Boy, Durham, that was almost sensational.
It was definitely it was an impressive play regardless of how it turned out.
Yeah, listen, if it's not for Nyla's speed, she
had no
doesn't
play
even
on the
get to
ball,
that.
yeah.
That's a double to the wall that scores a run.
Yeah, she did a great job containing it for sure, and it would have been awesome if she could have pulled it out, but again, speed really got under it, and that was just a great hit by the Tartan hitter.
Coco Saga, the cleanup hitter. Josie Henry in the circle with the entire team, working over every scenario right now. How important is the direction of a head coach in this situation, Evie? You know, like whether it's a timeout in a key moment in a game with Coach Reimer in basketball or Coach Henry here in softball, where everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do based on, you know, what the coach wants in that moment.
Yeah, getting everyone on the same page is really crucial in moments like these. And Coach Henry has a ton of experience, like my coach, Coach Reimer, of the women's basketball team. So it's really good to make sure all the players are on the same page, especially when they really need to get another out here in the 7th inning.
1 out, 2 on. Spartans up 2-0. Top of the 7th. Throwback. And that goes into center field. It gets by Durham and Gross. And the runners are going to move up. That turned into a nightmare. Lamb threw behind the runner. It got past the infield and past Nyla Durham. Back him up the play. Suddenly, with 1 out, the Tartans are a base hit away from tying the game. That was not what the doctor ordered. Allie Rome's at the plate. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, Gross. Looks at the runner and throws home. Boy, she could have had the 2nd out of the inning at first base. Kai chose to come home on it. Runner safe, as you saw, and there's still 1 out in the inning. That's a fielder's choice to the second baseman. Rome will get the runs batted in.
Number 18, Maddie Beal.
Tying runs now at third, Coco Sagaha with just 1 out. Miskey going to dig in. First pitch is a ball. Maddie Beal at the plate. Beal, the talented center fielder for the Tartans. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled back at strike one. Case Western needs a pop-up in the infield right now, or a strikeout. That's strike two. The throw down. I can't believe that throw went down, and Carnegie Mellon's just tied the game. Boy. Wow. One ball, two strikes on the batter. Caitlin Lamb's going to come out and talk to the infield. Carnegie Mellon has tied the game here in the top of the seventh with 2 runs.
That's fine. I think once we get to the bottom half, it should be good. Because as long as it still thinks we're in the top half, we're okay. Yeah, it still does.
Miskey up in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Counts even at 2. Carnegie Mellon started this inning. First batter got on a hit by pitch. That's trouble. Potts getting back to it, and Karen makes it look easy. That was a floater that was fading away from the shortstop, but Karen with that tall body, a long stride, got to that easily. 2 outs in the inning. Emma Martin now at the plate for Carnegie Mellon. First pitch is low for ball 1. Martin walked in her first 2 at-bats and struck out in her last at-bat to close out the 5th inning. Fouled back, counts even, 1 ball and a strike. This game was scoreless for 5.5 innings. We went into the bottom of the 6th scoreless. Spartans put 2 on the board in the bottom of the 6th, and Carnegie Mellon has answered with 2 here in the top of the 7th. Both teams have 5 hits. Ball and a strike. Here comes Miskey's offering. It's strike 2. Blew that one by Emma Martin. Miskey with 7 strikeouts. Now in the 7th inning, would love to have number 8. Here comes the pitch. Got it. Inning's over. Carnegie Mellon scores 2, though. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Game is tied 2-all. Here we go. If you wanted excitement, you got it.
We're not done at 6.
Bottom of the 7th. Game tied at 2. Ashley Miller, the first hitter in the Spartan lineup, leads off the 7th. Miller, the first year, looking for her first hit today. She is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to center field. So Miller's put the bat on the ball in every at-bat. And she'll do it here. 2-hopper to the shortstop. And that's an easy play for Abby Reese.
Now batting, number 29, Kaylin Zuzai.
Zuzai will now hit. And she played she came in and she got a base hit in the 5th inning. And gave the Spartans a moment of life. It was only the 2nd hit of the game. And that's strike 1. Gianna Adams working quickly for Carnegie Mellon. Adams has given up 2 runs on 5 hits. She has not walked a batter in this game. And that's a high hopper. Rome over to Martin, second to first, 2 outs in the inning.
It's not Nyla. It's going to be 8. Riley Williams. 8.
So Gianna Adams has not walked a batter. She struck out only 2. She has just pitched an efficient game. Efficient, I think, is the best word for her.
87 pitches.
87 pitches? 87 pitches, Fast Eddie Kirkus
Now batting for the Spartans,
has told me.
number 8, Riley Williams.
So pinch hitter for Case Western. It's Riley Williams. Riley, a first-year player out of Redondo Beach, California. What has Riley Williams done this year? This is only her 7th at-bat of the season. Riley's got a hit in the first 6. They'd love to see her get a hit right here. 2nd hit of the season would take the Spartans to the top of their batting order, and Karen Potts would be up next. So if Williams can find a way on, and whether that's being hit by a pitch, drawing a walk, or getting a base hit herself, whatever it takes, right?
Right, and especially at the bottom of the lineup, getting the top of your lineup with the more experience and back up to the plate would be really key for Case Western here.
Riley's had 2 good swings at it.
Yeah, making contact, staying alive in this ball, really getting her money's worth on this at-bat.
Confidence takes over right now, right? Down to the count
100%.
0-2. Got to believe in yourself. Gianna Adams is ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Riley Williams doing a nice job of just not even offering. Karen Potts will hit next. Williams steps in, down on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Game's tied at 2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Low counts even at 2. Riley Williams in just her 7th collegiate at bat. None bigger in her first year than this moment right here. She has worked the count full.
Yeah, Coach Henry has a lot of faith in her first-year players here, putting them in situations like this. It's really important and definitely will give her a lot of confidence going forward regardless of the outcome, that her coach has trust in her for this moment.
Williams was down 0-2 before you could blink your eye. Fouled off, worked it full. Here comes the pitch, and she worked a walk. What an at-bat by the first-year Riley Williams.
Yeah, Riley Williams came to the plate, did exactly what she needed to do, got herself to first base for the top of the order, and Karen Potts, who has had a hit, at least 1 hit on the day.
So a mound visit is happening right now for Carnegie Mellon. That's Monica Harrison, the leader of this Tartan softball program, in the circle with her team.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Attention, please.
Nyla Durham's going to come back out of the dugout, and she will run for her teammate Riley Williams.
Number 16, Nyla.
You know, it's all about being a teammate, right? I mean, Riley comes in to hit for Nyla, gets on base. Nyla comes back in to run for Riley, and everybody's happy to support each other, right? In most cases, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, everybody knows what their job is, and that's what all that matters at the end of the day is like the teamwork and how well you can work as a team to come out with the win. So, you know, it seems like Nyla is going to do a great job on the base path, just like Riley Williams did a great job getting onto base. So
Now batting for the Spartans, number 12, Karen Potts.
And in case you're wondering, Nyla Durham leads the team in stolen bases this year. She's perfect. 17 attempts, 17 stolen bases. She's hopping at first base right now.
Yeah.
2 outs in the inning. Potts, the leadoff hitter at the plate. Reagan Diamond, the catcher for Carnegie Mellon, threw one of 2 base stealers out yesterday in game 1 of this 3-game season or series to end the regular season. There goes Durham, first pitch, and throwing down is Diamond, and Durham's out! Oh, my! Diamond from her knees. She didn't even come out of her crouch, and she threw Nyla Durham out. What a play to end the bottom of the 7th. We head to extra innings. Game's tied at 2.
For Carnegie Mellon, number 21, Libby Eichberger.
Libby Eichberger will lead off the top of the 8th. Inning number 1 in extra innings here in game 1 at Mather Park. How about the play? The press box still buzzing on Reagan Diamond's throw down to second from behind the plate. When Nyla Durham took off, first of all, she had a great jump. Ground ball, Kai Gross trying to make the play. Backhand does. Kai Gross had it pop out of her glove and threw a backhand to Bella Russo and got the out. I thought she got the out. Did they call her safe? No. They called her out. But coming out to talk about it is Monica Harrison. Harrison's going to ask for the appeal. Josie Henry did this earlier in the game, got the appeal. It didn't go in her favor. They still called the Spartan runner out, and Monica will get the same privilege here. The runner was Eichberger, the number 9 hitter, and she will remain out.
Now batting, number 22, Kira Monjan.
So Kira Manji comes to the plate. Manji, the leadoff hitter in this lineup, is 0 for 2 officially. She also has 2 walks. And the first pitch is outside. It's ball 1. If you're thinking ahead, and we are, the Spartans will have the top of their lineup. Leadoff hitter Karen Potts coming up in the bottom of the 8th. They got to get through the top of the 8th first. Evie, did you like the big moments in basketball? Did you like tight games at the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that age-old question is, do you prefer to lose a close game or win blowout? And I just prefer the close games. It's a lot more intense. It's a lot more fun. It's the competitive nature of the sport itself. And I think this is a great fun game for the rival in Carnegie Mellon versus Case Western, where you got the 2-hour drive and the Cleveland-Pittsburgh rivalry. 8 innings. Couldn't ask for a better game. Couldn't ask for a better day.
No, it's beautiful. And you're right. The game's is as good as the day is. Counts 3-1 on Manji. Miskey has gone the distance. Manji swings at strike 2. Lexi has given up 2 runs on 5 hits. She has been outstanding. Trying to win her 17th game of the year. She's 16-4 as she stands in the circle right now. And they'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Game was scoreless heading into the bottom of the 6th. Spartans scored 2 in the bottom half. Carnegie Mellon matched that in the top of the 7th. We now stand here in the top of the 8th. 3-2 pitch, it's high, and it's ball 4.
Now batting, number 12, Jasmine Chow.
Jasmine Chow's at the plate. Chow on the day, base hit in the 1st inning, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. Manji on at first, second on the team this year with 13 stolen bases. So if you're thinking of an opportunity to steal, Manji is certainly one of the players that would take off running. Miskey's ready. The 0-1 pitch. And that's fouled out of play. Counts 0-2. Miskey looking for her 9th strikeout. The 0-2 pitch. Soft liner. Potts at second. Throws to first. And it was going to be a tough play. And safe at first. Carnegie Mellon with a runner. Now with 2 outs.
Now batting, number 13, Reagan Diamond.
So Manji's out on the unassisted put out at second by Karen Potts. Reagan Diamond, the first-year catcher, now at the plate.
Yeah, Reagan Diamond responsible for the play that ended the last inning, scoreless for Case Western, where she threw all the way from home plate down to second to get the runner Nyla Durham out. See if she can bring some of that momentum into this at-bat.
That's a great setup, Evie. Yeah, she has found herself in key spots here in all in 1 inning of play. Diamond on the day, 0 for 3. Hit by a pitch in her last at bat. She was hit by a pitch in that 7th inning at bat. She led off that 7th inning with the Tartans down 2-0. She came around and scored their first run. Miskey looking for that 9th strikeout. Head in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. And that was in the dirt. Lamb doing a nice job. Diamond, the catcher, doing a nice job of identifying that 0-2 pitch. That's a great pitch by Miskey to see if she can get a hitter to just lunge at one. So Lexi will do it again. Fly ball, left field. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. We'll go to the 8th. Game's tied at 2. Spartans with the top of the order coming up next. So here we go, bottom of the 8th. Ron Yance along with my partner today, Evie Miller, the graduating senior from the women's basketball team, joining us in the broadcast booth. Here's Karen Potts at the plate. Potts rolls on one over, and that's going to be a quick out in the first inning. Not the start the Spartans wanted.
Now batting, number 11, Bella Russo.
Bella Russo at the plate. Russo looking for her first hit. She's 0 for 2. Ground out to third, line out to left, and a sac bunt. Actually, Bella has been robbed twice. The play at third was outstanding, earned a double star in my scorebook, and the play in left was similar. So Russo's due for a break. Spartans would love for it to happen here in the 8th. Gianna Adams in the circle. She has gone the distance. She is the ace of this Carnegie Mellon staff, and she has looked at every bit of it this afternoon. 1 ball, no strikes. Russo's up in the count 2-0. Bella Russo in a 3-0 count. Russo doesn't walk a lot. She likes to hit. 7 walks on the season, and she has been in every game, in every at-bat. Takes that one low, and that's ball 4.
Yeah, you probably think that Bella Russo, being a senior and being the 3rd best batter on the team, probably had the right away from her coach to swing at that, but she does the right thing in taking that for a ball to walk to first. So Kai Gross is up to bat now.
So the runner's on. The winning run is on at first base. And the number 3 hitter in the Josie Henry lineup, Kai Gross, the top hitter on the team, batting average-wise, and in every offensive category, is at the plate. Gross showing bunt, pulls back, and it's ball 1. Coco Saga at third base, drawn in. Emma Martin at first base, drawn in. Outfield is deep for Gross. Here comes the pitch. Kai, little fly ball. How about that? Falls in at center field. Boy, when that went off the bat, it was kind of hard to read for me. I thought it was going out to center field, but that one just died.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some sort of wind that held it up a little bit, but definitely placed perfectly right in front of the center fielder, so she couldn't get under it in time. And, yeah, now you got 2 runners on with Caitlin Lamb up to bat, who has definitely proven herself as a power hitter, so we'll see what she can do here.
Evie Lamb had a big hit in the 6th inning. She had a double with 2 outs and 2 strikes on her that scored a run and kept the inning alive.
Yeah, she started a little rally last time, and let's see if she can continue her excellence.
Pitch to Lamb, ground ball to short. Plays at first and pulled off the bag, safe at first base. I wondered, the home plate umpire will have the best angle on it. And I think, and I don't know this, I'm just observing, but it looked like Monica Harrison, the head coach for Carnegie Mellon, looked at her first baseman and asked her, Emma, did you pull your foot? And Emma must have shook yes, because Coach Harrison just walked back into the dugout. That's a key play. So there's 1 out. Bases are full of Spartans. They just need 1 run, and this game's over. We're in the bottom of the 8th. And Biz Berry's at the plate.
Yeah, no one better than Biz Berry, who had a great hit last time to score the runner from second.
First pitch is a strike. So the infield's in. The outfield's in. Everybody is in. The play is at the plate, no matter what. Nothing else matters for Carnegie Mellon than keeping that runner at third from scoring. Here comes the pitch. Barry, ground ball to third. Play will be at the plate, and that's the force out, and that's the second out of the inning. How about that? Carnegie Mellon gets Barry to hit just a weak ground ball to third, and they are 1 out away from getting out of a bases-loaded 1-out situation.
And if you're Carnegie, that's exactly what you want there. Either that or a strikeout just to contain all the base runners.
So Kate Coonan's at the plate. How about this for the pressure situation for the first-year Spartan? Here comes the first pitch. Coonan swinging base hit. That's going to win the game. How about Kate Coonan? The first-year player, Coonan, getting hugged by her team at first base. First pitch hitting. And this ball game's over. How about Kate Coonan? That's beautiful. 3-2, Spartans in extra innings. They are victorious. What do you think, Evie?
I mean, that was definitely impressive. A first-year player getting the walk-off single. Great moment. You probably live for that. And, you know, a lot of faith in the first-year players by Coach Henry, and they really pulled through and what made to be a really exciting game. So the rivalry continues as they have split the first 2 games. So the next game makes it all for the better.
Well, Evie, it was my pleasure having you join us for this broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, you really did a great job. I hope that your training for your half marathon goes well in Charlotte.
Yes.
And I hope when you return home and your mom's ready to play you one-on-one that goes well for you too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Always a pleasure. It was so great. This is awesome.
Evie Miller finished her career at Case Western as the 4th all-time leading shot blocker in program history, joining us today for her maiden voyage with the headsets as a color analyst. She did a great job. So thanks to Evie, and thanks to everybody for watching and listening. We'll be back in about 30 minutes with Game 2. Spartans win the first one 3-2. Stick around. The second one is set to be just as good.